So what's going on, guys? This is the third video on the Python object-oriented programming series. Now, in the previous tutorial, we talked about class variables. In today's tutorial, we're going to be talking about class methods and static methods. Now, in the previous tutorial, we talked about how to declare class variables and how to access them using the class itself, or accessing them using like instances of that particular class. Now, in today's tutorial, we're going to be talking about class methods. Now, as you can see, the default methods or the regular methods we have in this class actually take in the instance as the first argument. That is self, for self-reference to the instance of the that is being accessed at the particular point in time. Now, class methods are quite different because they take in the class as the first argument. Now, we can declare a class variable, but we have to declare the decorator for that. Now, this is how we create a decorator, that is class method. Okay, so this is a decorator and I'll be covering them in future tutorials. Now, I'm going to create a class method that will actually change the current fee of this class. Now, that is much more unreasonable to create as a class method because it's actually accessing the top level variables on the class. So I'm going to define set underscore core underscore fee. That's for set current fee. And the first argument instead of self is going to be CLS, since this is a class method. Okay, so we could have used the default class, but that is a keyword in Python. So it's going to take the CLS, the class first, and then the fee we want to set that to for our case. And we are going to just return, or okay, no need to return, since we can access CLS here, and CLS is basically directly accessing the class. So we can see CLS dot current fee is equal to fee, which is the fee that was specified here. Now, how can we access this method? Now, I think the best and most reasonable way to access this method is through the class itself, since it's a class method, but it could still work using should I say instances. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say student dot set core fee to be 200. We made that 1000 from start, so we're going to print student dot core fee, and after here we're still going to print student dot core fee. That's the current fee. So let's run this program and see what we get. I'm going to strip down our code a little bit by removing a few print statements. Control. Okay, so we'll remove this one, and we're going to remove this print statement and leave the instances which we have created. So once I run this now, we should be expecting getting 1000 here, which is the first one we've gotten here. That's the current fee here, and we change that using the class method to be 200. Okay, so that basically switched or changed our class variable. So you can, in conclusion, say that class methods can be used for changing class variables, just as we've seen here. And another alternative use of the class method is as a default constructor, which we won't be covering in this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and strip this code down by removing that. Now, we talked about static methods. Actually, we did it. So we're going to be talking about static methods. Now, static methods are methods in your class that actually don't have a direct relationship with the class itself, and it doesn't also have a direct relationship with the instance or any instance accessing that function. So, for example, we had a method saying get underscore current time. So it's meant for getting the current time at any particular moment. So get current time, and what it just does is to return the current time at that moment. Okay, so this method is basically supposed to be a static method because first of all, it's not accessing the instance, and it's not accessing the class for any features. So it's best to declare this as a static method. So how do we do that? We still use decorators. Like I said, I will cover them fully in future tutorials. So we're going to give at, and this time around, static method. Okay, static method. So just that simple, we have it out there. And now we can access this using our class, or we can access this method also using an instance, and I'm going to show you in a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and print student dot get call time, and that's a function. So open and close parentheses, and we're going to print using one of the instances. I'm going to use the first student stud1 dot get current time, and you would see that it comes out the same. Okay, what is wrong? Let's see. Call time, return call time. Okay, so as you can see, we've just said call time, and that has not been defined, so it's best to create that as a real time. So I'm going to go ahead and import the date time module. So import date time, and here, instead of returning just call time, which we've not defined, we're going to return date time dot now, just to see how a function could be implemented. Nothing fancy. So once you go down here, you can see that our function is actually accessing this. This is my current time, and yours should be a little bit different. So that wraps it up for static methods and class methods. Now in the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about inheritance and subclasses. Now if you have any questions on today's tutorial, you can go ahead and leave a comment in the section below, and I'll do my best to answer those. And if you want to support this channel or these videos, you can do that by clicking the like button, leaving a sub, and sharing this video to whoever I think these videos might be useful to. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.